Hello, and welcome to today's applicant webinar. I hope you can all see my screen. We're here for the session, Why Wait? Launch Your Business While You Study with Aspire. So we are going to be hearing today a little bit more about the Kent Business School. We'll have a chance to ask some questions. We're going to learn about Kent's Aspire Entrepreneurship Hub, and then we're going to have a panel with our KBS students and alumni before opening up for another Q&A period. Today, we're going to be hearing from some academics, some staff, and some KBS students and alumni. We're going to start off right now with Steve Robinson, our senior lecturer in business and head of recruitment admissions and outreach, before hearing from Rebecca Smith and our KBS panelists who will be able to introduce themselves during the panel session. We also have Dr. Sadiq Mohammed, Associate Dean of Education, and Debbie Cook from the admissions team here to answer any questions you may have. So feel free to pop into the chat or into our Q&A tab any questions that you have throughout the session. And I am Vibeke Silverthorne, the International Conversions Officer. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Steve Robinson with a lovely presentation about the Kent Business School. Thanks so much, Steve.
Okay, everyone, I'm just going to load up the presentation here, if I can find it. Okay. Okay. Just bear with me, everyone. I'll just share you with my screen and my window.
Nice, we can see that.
Can you see that okay, guys?
Yep.
There we go.
Perfect.
Right, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are around the world. As the slide says, my name is Steve Robinson. I'm just going to spend 5 minutes of your precious time today before we get into the meat of talking about the role of the Aspire Entrepreneurial Hub, is to tell you a few little things, if you don't know them already, about University of Kent and Kent Business School. As Rebecca said, my name is Steve Robinson. You can see that there on the slide, and I'm a senior lecturer in business and head of student recruitment here. So we can also, during the sessions today, answer any little nuanced questions you might have about admissions, about the processes, etc. It's a shame you can't be here on campus. It's a beautiful sunny day. The top right photograph there shows you a great aerial photograph of the University of Kent campus here in Canterbury. It's a beautiful parkland campus, one of the nicest in the UK. If you don't know, we're less than an hour southeast of London on the way to the coast. Most of our programs, most of our postgraduate programs are based on this Canterbury campus, the top right. We have a couple in our Medway campus, which is closer to London. That's a more urban campus, which is in the photograph in the bottom right there. Even if you cannot visit, which we have opportunities to visit all over the summer, but if you've got friends or relatives that want to pop in and see us, take a look at the campus, get a flavour of what it's like being a student here, then please come along. It's not a problem. You can do that at any time. If you don't know, the University of Kent has around 20,000 students, roughly. In terms of British universities, that's slightly bigger than average. We're a fair size of a university. We're not too ginormous, not too big, and equally we're not too small. We're in that nice Goldilocks position, I would call it, of a good size. The business school, which this slide tells you a little bit about, the business school is the largest school within University of Kent. We are a triple accredited business school, which I know many of you will have heard of before if you're a postgraduate applicant. Triple accredited business school means we've been given that external mark of quality by the 3 key accreditors. At the bottom there, you can see their logos. That's AMBER, AACSB, and Equus. So we're not only are we a triple accredited business school, putting us in the top 1% of business schools around the world, we're also in the top 20, in fact 19th in the UK for business and management, according to the most recent Guardian ranking. We have a big focus, as you're going to hear about later in this session with Rebecca and our students and our alumni, our focus on employability, particularly through the Aspire Centre, our entrepreneurial hub. In the most recent ref, which are research evaluation exercises that come out every 7 to 8 years, that 80% of KBS research was seen as world leading or internationally excellent. So we pride ourselves not only on things like the quality of our teaching, which is excellent, but also the quality of our research, but also our extracurricular and co-curricular activity as well. Our key mission at the bottom of the slide there, our key mission is to develop you to be the next generation of responsible leaders and entrepreneurs who can make a difference in the world of business, the world of work. To that end, as part of your program here at Kent, we have a big focus not only on the modules you take, but also in the wider study community, the campus community, the research community on a sustainable tomorrow. This includes focus on the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. There's all 17 there on the bottom of the slide. I'm not going to read them all out, but while you're here, you'll get to hear about, you'll get to study about, you'll develop your knowledge about many of these sustainable development goals on your journey with us over the year. We also have on-campus events. We have different research topics related to some of these particular UN goals, such as no poverty, you see there at the bottom, zero hunger, etc., etc. So it's not just all about studying. It's not just about co-curricular activity, but it's also about developing your knowledge and skills in a broader global context. If you do come to us this coming September, I hope you do. We have a fantastic campus, as I said, and fantastic courses. You'll be coming at a very exciting time for the University of Kent. If you don't know, University of Kent have recently gone through an education modernisation, and that will be starting the very same time as you're starting this coming September. If you're planning to come in January, as some of our courses do start in January, you'll already be 6 months down the road of this education modernisation. What does this mean, Steve? It basically means we've made studying more student friendly. What does that mean? It means not only the shape of the academic year is more friendly to students, we've broken it down into more bite-sized chunks, if you like. So the shape of the academic year, the shape of your degree is more user-friendly. You only study 2 to 3 subjects at a time. Not only that, is that your timetable will be in blocks, so you have plenty of time for study, but also plenty of time for individual private study at home, in the library, in the lovely Simpson building. And if maybe you want to maybe have a part-time job. Also, our assessment and feedback means there's less exams and much more coursework now. You have a limited number of exams, and most of our coursework assessments are known as authentic assessments. What does that mean? They mean they are looking at real life related case studies, real life related activities, real life related research in terms of helping you secure that placement and job at the end of your studies. Okay, very quickly, I know many of you have already applied for positions here at Kent. All of our degrees are 12 months in length. You can, if you've not just applied for this, you can apply for an integrated masters, which includes a 2-term or 1-term option to do an IIM. That's the International Incorporated Masters at the top there. If you feel your grades aren't going to be quite high enough, or you need to develop your English language skills. I've already mentioned we do authentic assessments. There's an option in the late summer term to take take part in either a live consultancy project or do possibly an internship or a brief work placement. Our MSc International Business and Management students on this particular course, you have the opportunity to do a 2 to 4 week study trip as well to one of our partner universities around the world, or maybe work at an NGO or work possibly internationally. We have fantastic English language support, and when you do graduate, hopefully, which will be late in September 2026, then you graduate from Canterbury Cathedral. If you're Medway based, you'll be based and graduate from Rochester Cathedral. 2 fantastic places for your graduation. Here is a list of our degree programs. I'm not going to read you through this list because you're already aware of the different programs that you may or may not have applied for so far. There's 12 core programs there on that list in different themes. Some students like to follow the accounting and finance theme, so we have a lot of students going down the programs related to that. Some students prefer more analytics, operations, or systems, so we have students going down those sort of programs. Maybe your particular keen interest could be in marketing, entrepreneurship, international business, so we have a lot of students doing that, whereas many students also like to follow the more generic leadership management sort of pathways. So there's a lot of choice here, depending whether you want to deepen your undergraduate knowledge or develop new skills in new areas. All of our degrees, as I said, have different types of program accreditations. These are part of the degree you do. I already mentioned triple accredited for the actual Kent Business School as a whole, but many of our degrees have individual program accreditations. These are not any extra money. These are not any extra work. They are part of the programs that you get enrolled in, and you can see a number of these different accreditations there, such as the accounting accreditations. I've already mentioned AACSB, Amber, and Equus at the top. Students are always very interested in scholarships, and rightly so. There are many scholarships available. There are some deadlines coming up towards the end of July. There's a whole scholarships webpage there, and Rebecca, I'm sure one of my colleagues can drop you that link into the chat, whereby there are all sorts of scholarships you can apply for. The very top there, we have the KBS Dean's Excellence Scholarship Award, which is up to £3,000 reduction in tuition fee, and that is for self-funded students who hold an offer to study a master's program, and the deadline for that top one is by the end of July. There are other scholarships. I can't read them all out because we'd be here for another 2 or 3 hours. This is just to give you a flavour. There's the Kent Future Students Scholarship, which is up to a £5,000 reduction in tuition fee. This you do not have to apply for this. There's no application process, but it is available, this £5,000 reduction, to students who are domiciled in a variety of countries. You can check out your eligibility. You can see the link there to see whether you'd be eligible for that. Okay, there is no application process, and all eligible applicants who have paid their deposit by the end of July will be contacted with a scholarship offer. There's a number of other scholarships, as I said. If you go to the main link, you can check out a variety of others that you may be eligible for. If you have applied for us and you've not yet discovered it, we have a KBS applicant webpage. This is a webpage. Just go to the University of Kent, put in applicant web pages, and it will take you to the different subject areas. And this allows you to do all sorts of things. You can book a one-to-one chat with our academic staff. So if you want to hear more about your degree program, you can book a little slot, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever, to chat to one of our directors of study. You can see many of the things that makes us unique. And you can take a look more of our facilities around the campus. As I said before, beautiful campus here in Canterbury. You can hear from our graduates and some of their success stories, and also look at the next steps to actually arriving here at Kent. So check this out if you haven't done already. Please check it out, the KBS applicant webpage. It has all sorts of information there for you. Now, as ever, I apologise to Rebecca and everybody, as I've always gone over my time. I'm always given 5 minutes, and because I like the sound of my own voice, I keep going. But that's a brief introduction. I know it's not the meat of today's session, but I wanted to give you that brief introduction to a little bit about Kent Business School, the programmes we offer, as well as the fantastic facilities here. So, Rebecca, I'll hand back to you before we go on to Rebecca, just to see, as an interim, if there are any quick questions anyone would like to ask.
Thank you so much, Steve. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat. I was wondering if, very briefly, we could, if you could expand a little bit on when you were talking a little bit about authentic, what was the term you said? Authentic courses or authentic
Yeah, authentic assessments.
projects?
That's right. Yeah,
Assessments,
absolutely.
yes. Yeah.
in my view, we've always had authentic assessments throughout the programme. There's been a greater focus on having that framework in place for students when they are studying each module subject. When they are assessed, the idea is they are assessed through different vehicles that relate much more to real world practice. So the idea is students would take assessments, complete assessments. Yes, there's the old school, if you like, traditional academic essays, but nowadays, much more in business schools, there is a focus on students doing assessments that will relate much more to activities in the workplace. The classic example is to do an individual or group presentation, research that, but it can be lots of things to do with report writing. It could be briefing documents. It could be looking at online research, developing aspects of web pages. It could be looking at the development of a new product, whatever it might be. So the old school, if you like, undergraduate or maybe experiences that students have had at school of just writing essays and doing exams are pretty much becoming now a thing of a part of the past. Not completely gone, but there's a much more focus now on authentic assessments to that relationship with the world of work.
Amazing. Thank you. I feel like a good kind of segue into our more, experiential and authentic education here. Thanks so much, Steve. I don't think I see any other questions in the chat, but if anyone has any other questions at the presentation, we can always answer at the end. And I think I'm going to hand it over now to Rebecca to talk about another way that students can start exploring more, I guess, authentic assessments within their kind of co-curricular options. All right.
Thanks very much indeed. That's really great. Thank you, Steve, for that whirlwind tour of everything that's on offer on KBS. That was absolutely my head spinning, but so much information and so much amazing opportunity. Hi, everyone. It's lovely to be on the call with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rebecca Smith, and I have the great honour and privilege of working in the Kent Business School Aspire. Aspire is a place, a space, programs that you can access if you want to start your own business, if you want to develop a business which you already have, if you want to understand more about the process of starting a business, or in the very widest sense of what we do, you want to develop those entrepreneurial skills and mindsets, which I firmly believe are going to set you apart in any career that you go into. So yes, we're here to support if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to found your own business, but also what we do has benefit, I'd say, throughout your life, but definitely in your career. So a little bit more about us. Aspire. It stands for the Accelerator Space for Innovation and Responsible Enterprise. And like Steve was saying in the previous presentation, we do have this really strong focus at KBS on sustainability. I'll talk a little bit more about that in the context of starting a business in a little bit. But what we're here to do is we're here to support you if you want to start your own business, taking you through that process of finding and developing an idea all the way through to executing it, launching it in the real world, in the marketplace. Like we say, that real world experience is really important to what we do. We are not theoretically based, we're very practically based. Some of the things that we can offer you here in the Aspire are the business startup journey, one-to-one advice and mentoring. We have access to an amazing team of entrepreneurs in residence. We also have some funding opportunities, which are really exciting, can actually help you to start your business. And I will just say a little bit about employability points. Everything that you do when you engage in Aspire is going to help you develop your career, your business, whatever it is that you want to do. But everything that you do also earns you employability points. Employability points are kind of like a supermarket loyalty card that you build up your points throughout the year. And at the end of that year, you can exchange them for experiences. It might be an internship, it might be a placement, it might be an experience day or a company visit. But everything that you come to, anything that Aspire's doing, you're building up these employability points, which is a really fantastic opportunity at the university to access even more things and even more opportunities. So that's just a little bit about employability points. So this is us. This is the Aspire. We are actually in colour, not in black and white, but for the purposes of this very slick presentation, we're all uniformly black and white. So there's myself. I run the Aspire with my amazing colleague, Arta. And we're here to really help you in any way that we can. Art is responsible for putting on all our programs, so our programs of workshops, organising any one-to-one support or advice that you might want to access. He's also kind of responsible, your first point of contact if you want to access a mentor or have any questions about the program. The other three guys on the slide are entrepreneurs in residence, and they are experienced business people with specialisms in different areas. So if I start with John, he's a tech entrepreneur. He has started and sold more businesses than I have eaten pizzas, and that is a big number. And he's here if you have an idea in the area of technology to help you go on that journey towards feasibility, looking at kind of what you're going to need to have in place, the structure behind the front end of whatever your tech idea is, and to look at particularly how we cost things and how we can fund them. Jo is our innovator in residence, and she's actually saved in my phone as Innovation Jo, because everything that she is about helping you to develop your unique selling point. How can we take an idea and make sure that it really, really, really solves our customer's problem? Because the better that you can solve your customer's problem, the more likely we are to buy from you. And if you can really stand out from your competitors, from other products or services which are available in the market, then again, you're really going to have that strong relationship with your customer. And Jo is there to help you to understand that journey and to really help you develop your business. Our final entrepreneur in residence is the amazing Karen, and Karen has a long background and history in investment and funding. She used to be a financial journalist. She's worked with VCs, venture capitalists. She's worked with angel investors. She's also run an online funding platform. So really, whatever your funding requirement is, she has experience of how to access that in the best way, and also will be absolutely brilliant in helping you to build your pitch deck, and introducing you to her network, which will include investors and people who may be able to support you on that financial journey. So kind of that's the Aspire team. We work with lots and lots of other people as well, but this is the core team that when you come to Kent Business School, you're able to turn to and say, hey, I've got this amazing idea, or what do I do now with my business? And we are going to support you. One of the main programs that we run in Aspire is called the Business Startup Journey. It's 15 weeks of interactive workshops. They're fun, they're practical, they're really exciting. You're going to meet people from across the university, not just from the business school. Who knows, you may even find that amazing co-founder who's going to go on your business journey with you. Through the Business Startup Journey, you're creating a business plan, which will be your blueprint and your guide to launching your business. And you're developing those employability skills that I talked about, those entrepreneurial skills and mindsets. And really excitingly, if you join the Business Startup Journey, you could be like our three amazing graduates and students who we're going to hear from in a bit. You could take part in our pitching competition, and you could win £1,000 to help you start your business. So a little bit more about the Business Startup Journey. As I said, it's a series of workshops that take you through the process of starting a business. So we begin right at the beginning. What's your idea? Maybe you have an idea, something that's a real passion or a hobby, or something that you think is a real problem in the world and the solutions aren't great and you want to change that, you want to do it better, or maybe you're still looking for that idea. The beginning of the Business Startup Journey is that perfect playground and sandpit to explore ideas, to get ideas from other people, to look at how we can solve problems in the real world and then build business solutions around them. Again, always looking for that angle, that innovation. How are we going to do it differently? How are we going to do it better? How is what we're going to do really answer our customers' problem and deliver that perfect solution? When we've got our idea, when we think that we know what it's going to be, we obviously need to test it. We need to talk to our potential customers. And we do that in a bunch of different ways. It might be that we're building a survey to share with people to get feedback. It might be that we're going out into the real world and talking to people. It might be building an MVP, a minimum viable product, that allows your potential customers to interact with your idea so you can get feedback from them in real time, in the real world. So you can really understand what it is that you need to be doing in the next stages. You're really understanding their problem, so you're creating the right solution. Then, as I say, building a business plan, understanding how the different components of your business plan come together, from the idea, from the competitor framework analysis, from your customer persona, building it all and putting it all together so it's a logical, coherent document that you can use, one, to plan your way forward, but also to maybe to apply for funding. That's a big part of what we do. We also really cover off the practicalities of starting a business. Every business is different, but you will, if you're starting it in the UK, need to register it. What does that look like? What about compliance? What about legislation? What about all these different things? We will talk you through that process of how you start your business. Vitally important is the next stage. How are you going to reach your customers? What's your sales strategy? What's your marketing strategy? And we don't just talk about these things. In Aspire, we are helping you to do it. You will build a marketing strategy. You will create your social media assets. And all the time we're working with experts in their field. These are people who we get to come in and run our workshops, who are actually doing for a job in their own business what they are talking about. So you're going to hear from people who know the real world experiences and challenges of what it is that we're talking about. And that is such a competitive edge when you're going into starting your own business, to actually hear how it's happening. The final piece of the jigsaw, if you like, when you're starting your business is, how are you going to fund it? You might bootstrap that business. You might be just going to friends and family. You might have some savings. That's absolutely fantastic. But if it's a big project, if it's a big business, you're likely to need to access funding or investment in some way, whether that's a bank loan, whether that's talking to investors or crowdfunding. And again, we're here to help you navigate that journey through our workshops, but also through that one-to-one support that you can also get. The final event, or the final activity in the business startup journey, is the pitching finals, which you don't have to enter. But if you do enter, it's an amazing experience. You're going to stand up in front of our panel of judges and you're going to present your business, your idea, and get feedback from them. And that's where you could win that £1,000 to help you start your business. So that's what we do on the business startup journey. Alongside those workshops, we have what we call our boot camps, which are longer, more in-depth sessions, again, focused on different areas of business knowledge and learning, from the beginning, the ideas hack, how we can use different techniques and strategies to unlock business ideas. And the picture on this slide is us on campus in the woods, which are a beautiful feature of our campus. And we're talking about biomimicry, which is a way that you can use nature to be inspired by business ideas. Practical things, you know, a lot of ideas involve technology. So we have how to build an app boot camp, how to build your own e-commerce website. Like I said, we're very practically focused. So we go out and we look at business in the real world. One of our boot camps, we go into Canterbury and we think about, if this was the place that we were located, what business would we start here? What problems can we see? What opportunities can we discover? Because it's about responding to real life, and that's the life of an entrepreneur, is dealing with the world as it is. Our final boot camp is how to build an outstanding pitch deck, which will help with your communication and presenting skills, as well as give you that pitch deck that you need if you're looking for funding and investment. So that's the full package of support which we provide through our workshops and boot camps. But there's even more. No, Rebecca, is there? Yes, there is. You can also access one-to-one support, not only through our entrepreneurs in residence, if you want to talk about your innovation, your technology, or your funding and investment, through our mentors as well. That is a picture of Tuka Solomon, who is one of the dragons on Dragon's Den. And he came to the university last year and was so impressed with what we were doing, he invited people from the business startup journey up to his offices in London for an exclusive mentoring session. So it's that kind of opportunity, it's that kind of access to entrepreneurs that we can offer you in Aspire. And it's just an absolutely fantastic value add. Also on campus, we're running regular panel discussions like we're going to have in just a few minutes, where you'll hear from entrepreneurs about the reality of starting a business, how they did it, why they do it, what they love about it, and also the truth that it's not always easy and there will be struggle and it will be hard sometimes, and how we can build that resilience to get through those challenges. Even more opportunities. No, Rebecca, yes. So maybe you've got an idea for a business, or you've got a product or a service and you want to showcase it, you want to start getting real life feedback from your customers, or you just want an opportunity to sell. In Aspire, we run regular pop-up markets where you get to do just that, sell your product, get feedback. This is a pop-up market we ran this year, and we had about, I suppose, 25 student businesses, all different things from virtual reality platforms to fashion, beauty, jewelry, clothing, just everything. And it's a really exciting, fun opportunity. The final thing to mention about Aspire is that we do have funding opportunities. So if you have got that great business idea, you can come to us and apply for some funding, which might be the thing that actually moves your business into trading or takes it to the next level and helps you to scale up. I said at the start, and Steve also referenced it, that sustainable innovation is really important to us. And again, here's the Global Goals framework, and how we use this is as a point of inspiration. If you're looking for that idea, we say starting a business is about solving a problem. These are some of the biggest problems facing our planet today. How can we start to understand these problems in some depth? And when we really understand the problems, maybe we can start to think about solutions to even a part of some of these things. I don't say we're going to solve poverty or hunger in a single day, but we might be able to think of a solution to something that makes the situation better. So that's what we're talking about with sustainable innovation. We're talking about how we can do new, different things, but firmly rooted in making the world a better place as well. These are some of our mentors, every area of business that you can think of. Daniel Rubin founded the international fashion brand June London. If you've ever been to an airport, you've probably seen one of his concessions there. We've got fashion, we've got operations and finance, food and drink. Stefano runs a fantastic food and drink business. Perfume, fragrance, science, technology. Naz is an investor in the world of science in particular. So they're here to share their experience, to help support you to develop your business, but they're also here to share their networks and to offer you more opportunities. So that is a very brief overview of what we can do in Aspire. And now it's my absolute privilege to introduce you to just 3 of the amazing students and graduates who we've been working with, and they're going to tell you what they're doing, why they love it, and also a little bit about how Aspire helped them to get what they're doing. So Varsha, Patrick, Toyin, welcome to the call today. Thank you so much for joining us. I can see Varsha, yay! And I can see Patrick, yay! I can see Toyin, marvellous. Guys, thank you so much for being here. It's been too long. We need to catch up more often because I've been looking forward to this too much. So let's kick this off. Can you, in your best Dragon's Den style pitching presentation, just give me who you are and what it is you do? If you go over 30 seconds, I'm cutting you off. This is ruthless. We're going to get going. So Patrick, why don't you kick us off?
All right, thank you, Rebecca. My name is Patrick Ubwane, and I am the founder of Skill Connect. And Skill Connect is a product that actually solves the inefficiency of it's kind of bridge gap between the customers and the creatives. So what we're trying to do is there's issues where customers don't get value for money and creatives always complain of not getting that balance when the job is created. So our platform is there to bridge that gap, making sure that the customers get value for job done and the creatives get paid when job is completed. And also our platform is there to connect both the creative and the customers. And yes, that's it. That's what we do. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Patrick. Beautifully done. Varsha, why don't you tell us about what you're doing?
Yeah, hi. My name is Varsha, and I'm currently working on a startup called Vividha Vision. It is more of a career guidance services where my vision is to avoid that years of trial and error of studying something and then going into a different career later. So I've founded some numbers that out of all the students, like if um, someone clears the undergraduate, only 8.25% of people are doing uh, something that is related to their studies. So this is the major gap, and that I want to fill it in, and so that they can focus on the studies, start from the beginning, and then that will eliminate years in knowing themselves, understanding themselves, and finding that right fit in their career. So I'm still working on the business plan. I launched it with the beta clients and got some really positive feedback. I am planning to announce it on LinkedIn today. So I think it's a big day for me, and great. It's a coincidence that I think that everything has been aligned and I've been a part of this. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Varsha. It's so exciting. Toyen, tell us who you are and what you're doing.
Hi, I'm Toyin. I'm the founder and CEO of the Wonderlab Project, which is an organisation that provides STEM activities, which is science, technology, engineering, and maths for children between the ages of 5 to 10. We do this at primary schools at the moment in Medway, and we also have a separate venue where other children come on a weekly basis to our STEM club, learning all things STEM. And we really provide opportunities for children of all different backgrounds to be able to access these activities, which are very immersive and interactive. And it's our 1 year anniversary.
Happy birthday, happy business birthday.
Thank you.
Yay, you celebrate. Amazing. Thank you guys for that quick introduction overview. And you all kind of touched on the first thing that I wanted to dive into a little bit more. And that's kind of like that, what's the problem? You've all got fantastic ideas. They're so different, which is just such a beautiful thing. But they've all come from that. But there's this problem, right? Why isn't that? How did you get that idea? What was the thing that made you go, okay, someone needs to solve this? What was the thing that did it? Toyin, let's start with you.
Being a parent myself, you know how difficult it is to afford so many things and, great activities that actually enrich children. We're always looking for childcare during some holidays as well. So they really inspired me and all of their friends, and just seeing how a lot of parents were complaining about affording valuable activities that would help their children in future, and looking at where things are going in future. STEM is a massive market and opportunity for them. So that's really how I, sort of piece the puzzles together and develop this idea to sort of solve that problem and making it affordable and accessible to as many people as possible.
That's it, as you say, it was understanding that pain of the parents and the children not being able to afford this amazing activity. You also work really closely with schools, and they're like a kind of a customer as well, aren't they?
Yes, I do. I work very closely with schools. Got 3 now. Which is amazing. Also working with Medway Council. So we will be doing some summer holiday activities, which actually allow children in Medway to attend these activities for free.
That's just amazing. Patrick, what was it for you? That problem with creatives. What was the impetus?
Yeah, I was in the creative industry for 8 years, and one of my major struggle was connecting with like-minded people in my environment. That was a major challenge for me. And also, I have to constantly chase my customers for balance, because when the job is done and then you deliver the job, you always have to constantly chase them for your balance payment. And sometimes, it leads to some kind of it affects the relationship between you and the customers when you have to do that all the time. And also, from my colleagues and other people as well in the industry and the customers, they always complain that they don't get value for what they've paid for. Sometimes that's actually one of the reasons why they don't want to pay the balance when the job is completed. So those are the kind of the pain points I identify in personally and also in industry, and I decide to address that.
Yeah,
So
and I think it's so important, like you say, to really understand that industry that you're going into. So you're really thinking about the problems and really solving problems that people actually have, rather than kind of thinking, sitting in your room on your own, going, "Oh, I think they might," and actually going out and talking to people and really, really reacting to them. Varsha, your business that you're running now is actually not the business that you pitched
Yeah,
at Business Startup Journey Finals.
yeah.
It almost couldn't be more different. What was the point at which you thought, "Hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this"? What was that journey like?
Um, I would say that was really amazing, to be frank. The idea was great, and that was to talk about. It was a millet products that I was focusing on to help the diabetic persons. Me seeing my mother being a diabetic patient, there was like she faced lots of issues, and she was craving for that rice because we, being Indians, we love rice, white rice, and we wanted some alternative products for that. And these millets are something that are alternative for those products, and which have like complex carbohydrates, which gradually increase the blood sugar level. Instead of how it works in white rice, it just spikes your sugar levels. So this was another idea, and my mother used these products, and I really I saw the difference in front of my eyes, and that's when I thought that okay, I would like to help other people with this idea. The only problem I had was to have that investment and invest my time in it, because it was a huge project. And at this point, I'm married. I am planning to have a family planning soon, so I couldn't be more focused on that huge projects to get everything working, get the products from India, work on the logistic, customs, and everything, and then sell it here. So that's why I came up with this new idea. This again being experienced by myself. Um, in India, it is not only in India, like most of the countries, people tend to, do something based on their societal expectation, or following its, following their friends, or following the herd, or just a trend, or maybe it's their parents want them to do it. So this, even I was a part of this. I worked for 7 years in the corporate world. It was a huge success. I really enjoyed what I'm doing, but there's something that didn't connect well. I wasn't happy with. But apart from the work, I really enjoyed advising others, listening to people, being that support. And everybody used to just naturally come to me and share it, even without me asking for it. So that is something I really ignored when I was there, because back in India, self-awareness is not so promoted, or nobody understands it. It's very underrated. But after coming to the UK and working with all the international colleagues, and this environment has opened up that understanding of how being self-aware is really, really important to do something that to have a fulfilling career, either personally or professionally. So that is my thought, to help all those to lead to that right path. So that is something that I want to do. And when I just joined the MBA, that's when I did the self-assessment called DISC behavioral report. And that's when my profile came as coach. I didn't really focus on it, and I just ignored it throughout the time. But after the MBA, I took a long pause and started reflecting on myself, working on myself, and understanding who am I truly. So that's when I figured out. I went back and I did everything. I had rewinded my whole 30 years of life, and then okay, this is what I want to do. So I'm really excited for this. So let's see
It's
how it
so
goes.
amazing. And actually that's one of the challenges of starting a business, is that it's huge and there's a lot to do. But actually it's also great because you get to choose. It's like, well, actually, I'm going to park that. That is
Yeah,
important, but it's not right for me now. And actually I can do this now. And you have a lot of control over what you're doing.
yeah.
That's really interesting, and I'm excited to hear about the family as well. This has been a call where we're all finding out stuff today. Um, Brilliant. Patrick, can you just talk a little bit about how you got involved in Aspire? How did it help you? What were the most helpful aspects of support? Just your Aspire journey. Tell us all about it.
yeah, so basically, I actually launched my business back in 2019 and it failed. So I failed. I couldn't continue to run it, and I decided to, come to the UK, get more knowledge, and gain more experience. And that was when Aspire was actually what drives me to attend University of Kent. When I saw the program, I was like, okay, this is something that I want to get involved in. And when I came into Kent, the first person I went to meet was I haven't reached out to Otto before coming to the UK. So, and then when I came in the UK, I reached out to Otto one on one, and we had a discussion about Aspire. And ever since then, it's been a wonderful experience. And what Otto did was he actually gave me one-on-one mentor, Joe, and I started the entrepreneur journey with Joe. We started doing customer research, market validation, size of the market. Those are the terms that I didn't know about these things before. What I had initially was I just had the idea and I just want to do it. I just want to do it. But I didn't actually do my in-depth, research. I didn't know my target audience. I didn't know my market size. And I did all this with Joe during the process. We kept on doing research back to back. I kept giving our feedback, and it gives me a different perspective. And I kind of had to pivot my idea a bit because initially my idea was focused on a broad area of the artisans, the whole creative, the whole industry, but I had to focus more on the creative industry after my discussion with Joe. So it was a shift while I was at Aspire, and I kept working on it. I didn't have the plan to actually start immediately, but when I got the opportunity to pitch at the business startup journey, and I won as the second runner up. I actually gave this idea that if for you to win in this competition, it means that you're doing something good. So why do you want to stop now? Why can't you just continue? And ever since then, I've been pushing hard on it. It's not easy, it's been challenging, but I'm actually very glad to say that we'll be launching by July next year our MVP, and it's actually a wonderful phase at the moment, and all this wouldn't be possible without Aspire.
Oh, Patrick, thank you. I'm almost crying. Jo is fantastic. She's so much fun to work with, and it's just like you say, it's always about really understanding that problem, and just sometimes you got to keep going back and saying, what's the niche? Where do I start? I could do all this, but where do I really begin? Oh, that's so fantastic. That's such a great thing to hear about all that research and now bearing fruit, and it's going to happen. Yay! Toyin, tell us about your Aspire journey. I think you had some funding from us as well as kind of coming on the programs and the workshops.
I did, yes. So I first discovered Aspire during my lecture when Arta made a guest appearance and instantly recognized this was a perfect opportunity for me, as I just recently started Wonderlab and needed some guidance along the way, which I got a lot of during my Aspire journey, attending a lot of the workshops, being connected to many mentors, John, Joe, Tiffany, and a few others as well. And actually Arta helped me secure my first grant funding, which I was then able to use to purchase some items. And now I have a series of bookings. I completely booked up for the summer. Um, and also, it really helped me develop my confidence. I'd never spoken in front of an audience before. That was my biggest fear. But through the Aspire journey, I, gained enough confidence to actually participate in the pitching competition, came in second, won some more money, put into some more equipment, and went off to do some more activities at some more schools. So for me, it was an incredible journey, an incredible opportunity. And I wholeheartedly advise anyone to take this opportunity up because it is brilliant. It got me a lot further than I would have been had I not done Aspire. If I had gone to look for this work outside of the university and outside of Aspire, it would have been harder to get the resources, the connections, the network. It would have been a lot more costly. I probably wouldn't have got the funding. So it has been brilliant for me, and I recommend it.
Oh, thank you, Toyin. And I think it's really interesting because there is that practical thing. There is, like Patrick was saying, that market research, validation, market size, but there's also,
Yes.
they call them soft skills, but not soft at all. Actually, confidence and presenting and pitching. these are real things that that you can work on in yourself, and it's just been amazing to see your journey. Yeah, you just say that some of the equipment that Toyin bought is this huge inflatable dome, and it's just insanely brilliant when you see young people interacting with this amazing experience. It's just so great to have been a part of making that happen. So Patrick, Toyin, you both talked about kind of pitching finals and getting there. Barsha, tell us about the big day. What's it like to be pitching in pitching finals?
Wow, like Joyne said, even it was my first time to present it in front of such a large crowd, and I had butterflies in my tummy, and I was really nervous. But during that time, like Arthur helped us. He took like practice sessions, and that's when I built that confidence. You know, we did the real session in there in the room LT2, I guess, and it was a great practice for me. And then once I went in there again, it was, I, I can't explain it in words because coming from a rural place in India and presenting it in front of such a diverse audience and such a great judges was a huge thing for me. But thanks to Aspire, they helped me refine my business plan. They helped me refine the problem statement, solution statement, and how it can be so precise and accurate and pointing at that pain point, and it reaches that target customers. And they also help me, they always encouraged me at all points, and he was there. I used to ping him on Teams, on email, and he used to be there to answer any silly questions I had. And
They're never silly
again,
questions. They're never
yeah,
silly questions. No such thing. No such thing.
right,
That's amazing,
yeah,
amazing to hear. And it's really interesting because you talk about like being nervous, but you guys absolutely rocked it. You know, when you're standing up there, we've got some brilliant photos from each pitching thing, and you're just looking like these amazing, confident, brilliant people. And I just can't believe that underneath you're going, oh my God. But it just shows you can do it, you can push yourself. And that's kind of entrepreneurship, right? Putting
yeah,
yourself out there, making it happen, doing these things, even if we don't 100% feel like we even really know what we're doing, with support and with networks, we can always get there. Um,
right.
Rebecca, I'm not quite sure how much longer we have. So if you want me to wrap up, then I will. But I do have so many more questions always to ask. Uh, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we still have about, first of all, it's been great hearing from everyone. It's so cool to hear about your different journeys, and your business ideas, and how that's all, and how much Aspire has really helped, and supported you. I think we've checked to see if we have any questions in the chat. I think we have about 8 minutes left until we're running very on time. Great success. And yeah, I think I'll see if we have any questions coming up. But if you have any other ones for
Yeah.
the
Okay.
our
Yeah.
Spire
If a
people, feel
question
free to
pops
go.
in, just do feel
Yeah,
free to say, Rebecca, shut up. Because you know me, I will talk all day.
I'll
I
keep an
suppose
eye out.
what I think one of the great things about kind of panel discussions and just things like this is that opportunity to be really honest about what starting a business is like. And we're obviously all doing it because we have that passion and we want to do this thing and share it with the world, but it isn't always easy. So could you just maybe briefly describe a challenge that you faced and maybe how you overcame it, or how you deal with it mentally? Mental health's really important for founders. So a challenge, and what did we do? I'm going to go to Patrick.
Thank you, Rebecca. I have to say this. If you're not resilient, please don't go into entrepreneurship. That is one of the keys of an entrepreneur, because it's going to test you a lot. You're going to have challenges, and it gets to a point that you think giving up is the easy way out, but you just can't. That's when the resilient spirit comes in. You just have to keep pushing. You never stop. I always tell people that I'll prefer to crawl to my destination than give up. I will never give up. You just have to keep doing. I've been on Skill Connect since 2019, and I'm planning on launching on 2025. That is about 6 years of challenges. You can't imagine. And what keeps me going is that this is a problem that needs to be solved. Someone has to do it. Some people came in, they've done it, they failed, but I have to be the one to fix it. I have to keep doing it. So you never stop doing it. As an entrepreneur, you have to be resilient. You never stop. And one of my major challenge is that I'm not a technical founder. And what it requires, what I'm building actually requires. Oh, my daughter keeps disturbing me. Hello, thank you. Well, one of my challenges is that I'm building a softwares that require a lot of technicalities, and because I was not a technical founder, I found it difficult to understand the technicalities around the product I was building, and I had to outsource this thing. And what I was getting back was total failure. There was no way, there wasn't the right architecture, and that was actually one of the reasons why I failed the first time I launched it. But coming to Aspire after the business startup journey and winning the entrepreneurship, I actually had to pitch my idea to a technical someone that I knew that was very very technical, and he bought the idea, and just partnered together, and we've been working on it since. And he's very skilled in mobile development. The only challenge we have is that because of his position in his current place of work, he doesn't really have that much time to commit to what we do. So we had to hire developers, which is supports on a weekend basis. So that actually slowed our project a bit, but at least I am confident that we're building something right. So one of my major challenges is, if you're not a technical founder, please get a co-founder that is very, very technical, that understand the technical side of what you're trying to build, and he gets some support, talk to people, network, and like I said again, just keep pushing. You have to
Yeah,
be resilient.
I think you're
That's
so
what I have to
right.
say. Yeah.
That resilience, it's oftentimes it's the last person standing that wins the race, and it's just keeping going through those difficult times. You can still contact us, Patrick. If we can help on the tech side or with anything, just get in touch, because Aspire doesn't stop when you graduate. We're always here for you. We're always, happy to help in any way that we can. But it sounds like you've got the tech side of things sorted now. But if there is anything that we can do, just to get in touch. So Varsha, challenge. What skills do we need? How do we overcome it? What are those traits that we need?
Yeah, I could completely relate to what Patrick said. Resilience is something that we need, and along with that, we need perseverance. Sometimes we want to get the solution that we wanted immediately, so we have to dig in deeper, research deeper, and to never stop until we find it. So that's what I've been doing when I'm working on this business plan. Currently, I don't have any funds, and I'm not looking for any funding because it just needs like around 500 pounds. But I also have an education loan going on because for MBA, I took the education loan that I have to pay off. And that is another stress that is on my mind, and lots of family issues and everything along with this. I did not stop. I'm sure that it is going to work, and I did everything all by myself, like from building a website to researching, and then I don't have a coding knowledge, but thanks to AI, you can use it, and AI has been a great friend. Not to build it from the scratch, but once you have an idea, that is going to be a great assistant in making things work. So that has been my another thing. So I would say go with
Fantastic.
the trend, understand what instead of taking like 1 month, AI could help you do it in 1 week. So something
And
like
we
that
do
is
now actually have a workshop on AI in Aspire that we run, because that opportunity is so there. And we've got a question in the chat about how long did the Aspire program take to complete, and do you take your classes at the same time? So Aspire can be as long or as short as you like. There's 15 weeks of workshops, but you don't have to come to them all. You can pick and choose the things that you want to get involved in. If you've got other stuff that you need to be doing, that's fine. You can always catch up outside of those workshops, have a one-to-one, and get that individual support. So the business startup journey is what we call co-curricular. So you're doing it in your spare time outside of classes. They're on Wednesday afternoons, which is, well, in Canterbury, they're on Wednesday afternoons, which is a time set aside for co-curricular activity, whether that's being in the football team, being in the art society, debating society, or of course coming on the business startup journey. Rebecca, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, we have a couple other questions. We do have one about someone talking about business analytics and job opportunities, which I can hop into the chat a bit. But I was wondering if maybe you know anyone from Aspire who is joined who may have come from that kind of background.
Yeah, I think I can answer that question. I actually did business
Yeah.
analytics masters. Yeah, for business analytics, honestly, the market in the UK is very competitive. There are jobs opportunities, but it's a very competitive market. So you actually have to stand out, and the best way to stand out, you actually focus on a niche, on as a business analyst, a niche that you're specialized about. So most people can do like CRM, SAP. So you need to, dig deeper, get some more extra knowledge and skills in different projects. I think that could actually set you apart for the market. But it's a very competitive market, but there are jobs opportunities as well.
Amazing.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks so much, Patrick. I was also wondering if Rebecca, potentially you could expand on just we had some questions about maybe post-sec after graduation kind of supports for like international students coming, and what kind of support maybe students could have with trying to like come into the UK for like post study visas and stuff like that. I wonder if there's been any support in terms of funding and stuff with Aspire.
So yeah, absolutely. Aspire, we are here for you when you graduate. Whether it's accessing our network, whether it's getting that one-to-one support to develop your business plan. If like Varsha, you've completely pivoted into something completely new, we're there to support you in exactly the same way as when you were a student. Again, funding opportunities don't stop when you graduate. So if that's something that you want to come back to us and say, now I'm ready to access that, that's totally possible. We have supported students, international students who want to come to the UK and start their own business. That's absolutely something that we do. Again, and it's just about what it is that you need or want. Starting a business is such an individual and personal journey that it's really just about building that bespoke and individual support for that founder or those founders, so they can get the most out of the experience. You don't have to register for Aspire. If you sign up for our mailing list, then you will know what's going on each week. But you can just drop in and drop out. You might not come to the workshops, but you might come to a panel discussion. You might just take part in pitching finals. It's really very, very flexible. It's like a buffet. You take the things that you want from the buffet. You don't have to have the whole feast. Or have the whole feast, which is what I would say do, definitely.
Amazing. All right, so I think we are reaching the end of our session today. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has been attending, to Rebecca for hosting this panel, to Steve for talking to us about the business school, to Varsha, Toyin, and Patrick for coming in and talking about your experiences and giving us so much knowledge about the business startup, but also just like the highs and lows of starting businesses and the different various journeys that you guys have been on. It's so inspiring to hear from you all, and good luck with your continual endeavors. Yeah, and thank you so much, everyone, for attending. Thank you to Sadiq and Debbie and Maria for helping out in the chat and being there on hand with any questions. If you do have any questions for us down the road, please feel free to email us at KBS Admissions or KBS marketing recruitment at kent.ac.uk. If you have questions about your offer, I would say reaching out directly to KBS admissions at kent.ac.uk. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for attending. This session is recorded, so we will be sending it out to everyone who's registered. So you'll have a chance to watch through again on your own time if you have any other questions. And I'm sure, yeah, it'll be great to hear more of the amazing advice you had today. And of course, Rebecca has popped in the chat to reach out to Aspire at kent.ac.uk. Thank you again so much, everyone, for attending. This is amazing. And thanks so much for the wonderful session.
See you soon, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.